All right, guys, this is going to be an awesome course. I'm actually here in Florida with Tim Berry, sales manager at CMR Construction. And this video, we're going to actually dive into how to really do the closing, the button up. But before we do that, I kind of want to give a little quick backstory of Tim. You've been doing roofs since you were 3?
Yeah, man. So
that's crazy.
First roof I was 3 years old.
And now he's built an organization within CMR to do over $120 million of roof in 2020. And it's really cool to watch. Obviously, you've seen growth over the years since then. And so you were 3 years old, though. How do you start in roofs when you're 3?
So I'm a third generation roofer. Berry Roofing in St. Louis, Missouri. That's where I was born and raised. And my grandfather started a roofing company there in 1964. He actually worked for Sears, putting on shingle roofs, hand nailing. And he realized really quick that there's good money in this. So he cut out the middleman and started doing it himself. And so he had 5 boys. My dad was the youngest, and they all roofed. And so whenever I was 3, we didn't, have a sitter or anything. So we had an emergency call. Dad did, and he threw me in the front seat of the truck. No car seat or anything. Just before rules were around, and drove up to the local dentist right down the street because they had a roof leak, and storming. And he gets up there. Him and a couple guys were sealing this thing up, and I get scared, so I roll the window down, couldn't open the door, jump out of the truck, climb up the ladder, tug on his shirt, and I'm like, "Dad, I'm scared." And he's, "Son, you don't have nothing to worry about." And it was all over from there.
That is so cool.
Roofing from then on, so 5 years old through the time I was 10. They wouldn't let me up on the roof, so I picked up trash and nails on the ground. And then when I got 10, they started letting me on the roof, throwing shingles whenever I was, out of school or in summer. And then when I was 13, they taught me how to nail on shingles and roof flat roofs. And then in high school, 16, 17, and I got a wrestling scholarship and an academic degree to go to school, but just couldn't hold my attention, So
that's awesome.
Went back to roofing.
So you have an expert that's got 30 years of roofing experience, ran hundreds of millions of dollars of roofs, and we're going to dive into how to freaking close, how to go button up some of those tricky technical situations where customers want to keep their deductibles or don't want to pay it, or they want to keep the money they get from the insurance. And so this is going to be a really cool course on just how to kind of make sure that you're making the most amount of money in this job. So let's dive in and make sure you pay attention, take notes, and you're about in for a treat. All right, so the first thing is to really understand the process. And a lot of the times, the roof sale is happening in kind of chunks. Obviously, you sign the contingency or AOB or the initial service agreement. Then you schedule the adjuster meet. The adjuster meet then is going to approve the job. So I want to kind of go from that point in the process. So adjuster approves the job, says, "Great, we're going to buy it." What's kind of your process to make sure that you get this deal signed, collected, make sure that it happens?
Well, you really want to go to make sure that you have a foundation laid with the customer, right? So things that we've been told over the years is before the transaction comes the relationship, So you want to make sure that you built that relationship first and prep the customer so they know what is to be expected when this happens. So if you've done that properly, then when that check is cut, they already know what's next. They already know that this is, we're going to pick out a color, a tile color, a shingle color, a metal color. We're going to start going over the process and, laying out a game plan from, the tear off to the inspection, to the install, to the secondary trades, right? They're going to know all that already. So at that point, you're just driving home what you've already said. So you're reinforcing it. And it's really good to if you know the process well, is to make sure that you've kind of lay out so when it happens, they're like, "Oh,
he already told me that."
That's what Tim Jr. said. Oh, he said that too. So it just reinforces your professionalism and you as the expert. So if I say this adjuster's going to come out and he's going to probably give you an idea of what kind of damage you have, but it's going to have to be reinforced by an engineer. And then it comes out and that happens, they go, "Oh wow, he's been here before."
Yeah.
And then, the engineer's going to come out and I'm going to make sure I show him what I see. and then he's going to kind of be a little bit standoffish because he's not going to want to give an opinion, and then he's going to turn that report in. They're going to have to analyze that, and then that happens, and they go, okay, we're on the same page. He's got it handled.
Yeah,
and so now
no new rodeo.
Yeah, he's not a rookie. So that's why I drive home to our guys is, this is your field. Know your freaking field. You know,
Yeah.
like if you're a football player, you don't go out there and go, well, I didn't practice my routes, but throw me the ball. You
And
know?
so what he's saying also that I like is you're setting the expectation with the customer, saying, so these things are going to happen. And once the adjuster says yay, and we fought him, and we went through this back and forth with the engineer, and we came up with a real price, then I'm going to come to you and say, here's what the insurance is going to give you. You're going to pay your deductible, and we're going to then move forward and pick out colors. And
Yeah.
you know, so they're like, oh, that's the process.
Yeah.
And it's not like, oh, we hope to give you the adjuster, and we hope to do all this work, and then at that point you decide, do you want to get with a roofer, or do you want to use us, or do you want to move forward? Like,
You lay it down that you're the guy, you're the liaison. And I'm not selling you anything. I'm giving you the opportunity here. So if you take away the aspect of the sale, there is no sale. What are you talking about? We're not selling anything. We're giving you this. We're coaching you through this.
yeah, we're just basically coaching you through this insurance process.
Yeah.
And just right there along the way to make sure that you don't get taken in.
100%. We're there as kind of like the big brother at the playground. You know, we're there to make sure that they do what they're supposed to, and if they don't, we let you know that they probably didn't handle that properly, and you need to consult an expert at this point.
Cool. So the next step would be, after they say, yeah, here's the check, or here's what we're willing to pay. How do you approach the customer and say, all right, let's move forward and let's start putting some money into it?
Yeah. So if I personally, I don't wait for the check.
Okay.
I'm like, all right. So at this point, let's go ahead. You know, down here there's a lot of HOAs, so they want to know what color, the tile manufacturer. They want all that stuff. So they want to know like all of the things that make up that roof. They're gonna dig real deep in, right? So I go ahead and start setting that expectation right away. So after that adjuster comes and they start feeling comfortable with me, I start bringing out the materials then. I'm like, hey, let's go ahead and get your colors picked. Let's get that done so that once that check hits, we're not waiting on anything. We're good. We're ready to go.
Like that.
And so I get them emotionally attached once they hit that emotional peak, right? So I call it capturing lightning in a bottle, right? So in sales, when we take the sale away from it, we may act like we're not selling anything. We're giving you this, but you still have to capture their emotion. So we build the emotion, and once we feel like it's at the peak, then that's when we capture it. And so capturing lightning in a bottle, you catch it at the best time.
Yeah.
So now they're emotionally attached, and you're their friend. You're the expert, and that's whenever it's sealed. That's when there is no going. They won't go back.
So then how do you and when do you bring up any kind of final agreement or final button up, or is there anything like that you do?
Obviously, when the check gets cut,
Okay.
you know, you want to make sure that they have the understanding that that's for us. That's not for you.
So how do you explain that? Pretend I'm customer. How do you kind of bring that up to me, and what would you kind of say to make sure that it's like, that's clear?
I set that expectation minute one.
Okay.
So if I'm sitting down with you and we're going over the contingency, right? And they say, well, Tim, you don't have a dollar amount on here. Well, that's what's so great about our contingency, right? As long as it's approved for replacement, no matter if it's $5 or $500,000, that's what I'm doing the work for. Your deductible is all you'll ever owe me. So I say it, and I say it pretty much the same way every time: $5 or $500,000. And I'll exaggerate it. If it's a $500,000 roof, I'll say $5 million.
Yeah.
You know, if I know it's going to be a big $500,000 project, I'll say whether it's a $100,000 or $1 million or $5 million.
Yeah.
All you're going to owe is your $25,000 deductible. That's it. And I'm giving you the rest of it. The insurance company is footing the bill.
Love that.
And so you set that from day one, and you reinforce it throughout the way. You know, you never back off of that. You never want to hide from it.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people are scared to talk about money.
Yeah, especially whenever they've never seen, you know, some of these roofing salesmen have never even seen an $80,000 check before.
So they get this $80,000 check. So how do you explain it to the customer? Because the check goes to the customer. How do you explain, hey, do you mind writing me this check? It's like, can you pass that over? Like, what's your, like, role play that with me? I'm a customer. I just got my check. What's your way of asking? Is there like a tactful way of you just being like, all right, it's time?
Yeah. So the policy of payment that we have in place, it's a whole separate document. It's the policy of payment. So now to go ahead and get the materials ordered, I get my 10% deposit, and that amount is X, and I base it off of the total. And don't forget, when the materials deliver, this is the next amount. When the tile shows up, that's the next amount, and when we're all finished, that's your final amount, and you owe deductible at the end. And
so you just show them, hey, here's the process of how we'll get paid.
Yeah.
Here's the process of how you're going to get paid.
Yeah.
And let's just make sure that this is clear. Okay, right here. And that's how you sign it up.
You want to make it very clear from the beginning that it's not their money.
Yeah.
The insurance company is agreeing to have us do the work for that amount. And again, it's all working off of emotion, right? So Mr. or Mrs. Jones, I have to do the amount for that. I have to do the work for that amount. It's insurance fraud if I don't. If I just turned in an estimate to your insurance company for $80,000, you get the check for 80 and I do it for 60, guess who's on the hook? We are. If they ever audit and say, hey, why did you only take 60,000 and not 80,000? Well, that's a legal problem, and you don't want, Mr. Jones, you don't want to be involved in anything illegal. I mean, you're not that kind of guy.
No, I wouldn't want to do that.
No.
Ooh, you noticed how he built in this, like, you don't want to play the, like, dishonest card. You know what I mean? Like, and the emotion, the tone he used, pay attention to that.
It is. It's about delivery, right? It's all about how you talk and when you choose to pause and when you choose to really emphasize something and dig in,
Mm-hmm.
and being confident in what you're, like, even if you're going into a hornet's nest, practice that. Practice the hornet's nest.
Yeah.
Because you can't get shook. As soon as they feel blood in the water, it's over.
Yeah.
So you got to stand your ground. You're the professional, and you would never want to do something like that, Mr. Jones. I mean, that's serious. I mean, and you're not that kind of person. We've talked for months now, and you're a good guy. I mean, you would never do something like that. We worked really hard for you to get to this point. We built value. And so you're driving it home that, wait a minute, people do that? Oh, I would never do that. Here's the whole check, Tim.
Yeah.
Just go ahead. You just take this check. That's a great idea.
That's a great idea. I love that. Okay, so in these next videos, we're going to walk through the worst case scenarios where a customer maybe is like, I'm holding on to this. I'm going to go, I have other bids I could probably go snoke with this. Like, or maybe there's a scenario where they don't want to pay their deductible and you're already to this point, or you're in a scenario where they're already switching to competitors, or, so there's an element here, and we're going to walk through what you do in those scenarios that will come up, and I want you to be prepared. The customer's like, I got this $80,000 check, and you're like, great, we all agreed $80,000, and they get this check for $80,000, and they start to go, well, I got debt I got to pay off, and I got a car I've been wanting, and so now what do? They're starting to get this second fee. Like, do I really care to get my roof done right now? It's not that bad, right? Yeah. Like, what do I'm a customer, I come to you like that. How do you handle the scenario?
You got to gauge what's important to the customer, right? So obviously, if they want to take the money, there's a reason for it. Either they've got, like you said, they've got debt, or they've got other looming issues that they're worried about, and there's a concern, usually. I'm not going to say all people are horrible, but most of the time there's an underlying issue. Yeah. So you got to really dig into that and find out what that is. So
because there's a lot of times it's a viable thing, meaning, hey, my car just broke down, the axle's broken, I can't even get to work. All this money could be used to help me get life going again.
Yeah.
And people that haven't really known how to budget money and knows how to manage money, they just see money as theirs, and they're entitled to it, and they can use it however they want. So it's just their relationship with money is a thing, and they need a coach, and they need somebody to really help them through this. So.
Yeah, so you're obviously trusted at that point, right? Because they let you on their roof from the beginning. You knocked their door, and they trusted you to get on their roof. They trusted you with your analysis of their roof. They've trusted you with the insurance process, helping them through that and picking out all this stuff throughout the way. So you've built value. You have that value. Don't let it go just because you have this little speed bump. That's all it is. So we find out what the main issue is. What's the reason why? Let's get down to brass tacks, Mr. Jones. We've worked this hard. We set the expectation from the beginning that, it's going to be probably a $70,000, $80,000 approval amount. So is there a reason why you're wanting to hold on to that money? I mean, you got some major damage on your roof. Obviously, the insurance company paid for it.
Yeah, I feel like it's not that bad, and I think I can just pay like Javier or somebody, my buddy, to come and do some patchwork, and I think it should be fine. I don't think I have to like replace the whole thing, and I just have some big needs. Like my wife needs a new car. She's 200,000 miles onto the thing, and that could be a big difference for us. And this is,
Well, I mean, I have some options that I can go over with you that maybe you can put some money in your pocket and in a legal way, and we still get the benefit of getting your roof replaced. So one option that I can offer you is I've got a great financing program that you can finance a large portion of this, spread it out over 7 years, put that money that you were going to pay out of that large settlement in your pocket, help your wife out. You still get the new roof, and now you're just paying a small payment for the next 7 years. And we still get the insurance proceeds on and the finance money. And then you can also finance that deductible, because I know that you were worried about that in the beginning. That $6,000 is a lot of money. And you don't compromise the home. You have a beautiful home here. And the last thing you want to do is cut corners. This is the one opportunity that you have in your life to get a brand new roof on your home that's $80,000 for $6,000.
Yeah.
That's your deductible. So that's really all you pay. The insurance company footed the bill, and you haven't had a roof for 20 years. So like all the codes have changed. The material is way more expensive now than it was then. So you just increased the value of your home for $6,000, and then you took that and spread it out over 7 years. So we've gone through this whole process. There's no reason to turn away now. I know it looks promising in front of you, but trust me, the problems outweigh the benefit in the long term.
Love that. So notice how he went right to solving the problem for them. He's like, get to the root and then see if you can't be a problem solver. Like, okay, is it finance? Is it, hey, let's break this into chunks? How do we figure out how to make this a solution instead of like, well, come on, dude, like, come on, man, like you can do it. Like, a lot of times like the sales guy wants to kind of start to go in that mode.
It's the sympathetic, kind of the compassion part of it, and really showing them that you guys are a team. This is a partnership.
Yeah.
You guys, you built this from day one. And so if you build that relationship, then this conversation's a lot easier on the most part. I mean, you're always going to have your person that's going to be dead set. They're taking that money and they're doing something else with it. And those, you got to understand that there's going to be some of those times, and you got to cut the cord and move on. You don't waste your time on things that you're never going to win. There's no point. Why waste your time on that one? That's a problem. And you can notice that from the beginning.
Yeah.
So you can get those vibes, So if I get the vibe that Mr. Jones is a problem from the beginning, I'm going to cut that tie from the beginning.
Yeah, to have kind of a little bit more of an abundant mindset.
Yeah, you don't have to have every deal.
Yeah. Love that. Okay, so we're going to kind of move on to the next problem you're going to constantly see in this space. And we have customers like, oh my gosh, I got another bid, it's a lot cheaper, and if I can take the whole insurance money of, let's say, $80,000 or $20,000, and the other roofer is going to do it for $14,000, I get to keep $6,000. Like, that's a big win for me. I just gamed the system.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna walk through. I'm customer. He's sales rep. how does he handle the situation, knowing that he got a contingency, knowing that he, like he's done all the work to get the insurance approved. Now what do?
You really want to reinforce, I say that a lot, but like you want to reinforce what you've already laid out. We're your roofer. This is not the same as you going out and get 3 bids and finding who's going to do the work for the cheapest. You don't want that. That's not what you wanted in the beginning.
Yeah, but if I get 20,000 and they do it for 14, then I get to keep 66 grand. I mean, that's.
But where do you think they're shaving that cost off from?
I don't know. It's just cheaper.
Why though? I mean, put yourself in the business position. If you owned a business, right, and you have laborers and materials and a profit margin, right? Well, what are you going to shave? If you have labor, materials, and profit, where are you going to cut the corner?
Labor and materials. I mean, maybe give away some profit. I don't know.
You're probably not going to shave the profit too much, right?
Yeah.
They're going to figure out a way to make a better mousetrap, find cheaper material, find cheaper labor. But think about that. I'm not cutting any corners. I'm giving you the best products, giving you the best trained labor, supervision throughout the whole process. And that other company didn't have the 3 months that we had fighting with the insurance company, getting the engineer out here, showing the damage. We tarped the roof for you because you had the leak. They haven't done any of that stuff. So what value does that have? That has to have some value.
Yeah, and I appreciate you guys doing that, but I mean, like $6,000.
Sure. But do you want to be in the same position now in 3 years? Or how about they cut the corner now, and then in 3 years when we have a windstorm, your insurance company comes back out and says, we paid you 20 grand to do the roof. You had showed us an invoice for 14 grand, and you have faulty workmanship. Now go pay the 20 grand yourself. I mean, is that worth the risk? I mean,
yeah,
that's a huge risk.
Yeah,
and again, when you leave here, I'm showing you what my warranty is. I've showed you the tile. I've showed you the shingles. I've showed you the underlayment that we use. We're the biggest roofer in Florida. You said you've seen our trucks all over town, so we're not going anywhere. I mean, we roof 30 of your neighbors. You see the quality that we have. No need to cut the corner now.
Ooh, I like that. So it's going to happen. Like, these are objections that are every day. It's not every day that you're like, yep, Customer's like, yeah, fine and dandy, here you go. Like, I mean, people are smart. People are saying, how do I get the most out of this? So in the next video, we're going to go into the deductible conversation, which is another thing. You got to go collect that 2 grand, 5 grand, whatever that is for your market and your homeowner. It's like, I've been down this path. I know that some roofers are going to cut some corners and will pay my deductible. So I've got to convince my roofer to pay my deductible because I'm not paying deductible and I'm going to game the system, which is a common thing. And there are some roofers that lower their integrity and feel like the only way I can sell is if I eat the deductible. So you're in a situation where customers maybe been educated by some roofers or been promised, hey, I'll pay your deductible for you if you go with me. How do you handle this scenario?
Well, I mean, again, we've laid the foundation before. So it's not like it's a new conversation. It's not like they get the $50,000 check and you go, okay, by the way, it's 50 plus 5. So now it's 55. They know from the beginning that they're going to have to pay that. So it's front.
When do you figure out what their deductible is? Because everybody's policy is a little different. So how do you know?
Very beginning.
Okay, so you're like, go grab your policy. I want to see.
Let's check out your deck page.
Yeah.
Let's see what's on your declaration page.
Before you're signing up contingency.
Yeah, while you're there.
Yeah.
And I'll even have them, when they call in the claim, I'll even have them ask again, can you confirm what my deductible amount is for, say, a windstorm or a hurricane or other perils?
Super smart.
There. So they not only read it, and I make them read it to me. I don't even look at it. I'm like, can you just read down there at the bottom where it says hurricane deductible? Can you read that to me?
It says like 5,000.
Yeah, $5,000. So 5,000. I'm just writing here. Customer responsible only for hurricane deductible of 5,000. You see that there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then we call in, and I have them reiterate what deductible is. I have them say it again. What's the deductible? and they'll say, yeah, you have a hurricane deductible of $5,000. Okay, so $5,000. Good. And you just reinforce that in the beginning. And
you're
so
not afraid of it. Like, I think
why?
a lot of people are so afraid to be like, like, you notice how confident he was? Would you read that to me? Like, can we just put this out on the table? There's a deductible here.
Yeah. Let's go down to the deductible page. Do you see that part? Yeah, right there. Hurricane deductible, big bold letters. What does that say? Mrs. Jones, can you read that to me, please?
Yeah, 5,000.
Yeah, okay.
Good. This is good.
5,000, right? No change, not like 5,060. Because sometimes I hear, like 10,520. It's weird, but I hear that.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah,
I just,
it says 5,000.
Yeah, 5,000. Well, that's not too bad. And I'll say that.
Ooh.
I had one the other day, $35,000. Can you believe that? 35,000. I don't even have $35,000 in my savings account. Make them remember. There's little things that you do during your sales presentation that will burn in their brain.
Okay, so let's say that right there and then you're trying to sell them on it. Okay, look, 5,000, and they're like, "Whoa, I don't got $5,000 to spend on a roof right now. I don't want to do this."
Perfect. I don't want you to pay it either. We have some ways that we can help you out with that, and you have to be careful where you're at and where you're working, and if that's even legal. But in a lot of areas, you can offer marketing credits. Like, hey, you refer my neighbor, I'm going to give you X. Or let me put a yard sign in, I can give you Y. Make them work for that. Listen, I don't want you to pay it either. And if you can do that, if that's allowable in your state or wherever you're working, then great. If you can't, then you just reinforce the law. Well, would you rather pay full price for a whole new roof? A roof right now, on this house, probably 40 grand. Would you rather pay 40 or 5?
5.
5.
Is it really that bad though? Like, do I really need to do this right now?
Well, let's just say you don't. In my opinion, this roof is in bad shape. You're probably going to start experiencing leaks at some point because it's damaged your underlayment and you got broken tile everywhere, and it's an older roof, so it's already past its useful life. But you can obviously take that risk. I wouldn't. I've been in this business my whole life. I wouldn't take that risk. And here's the thing is, you now know about the risk. You've been informed of it. So if you wait any longer, it could be a detrimental thing to you in your claim, in the claims process. They could say, well, you had somebody out here 9 months ago and you failed to file the claim. We're denying you because you didn't take prompt notice. So that could be really, really rough for you as well. So might as well catch it now before it becomes a catastrophic issue on your home. And again, 5,000 or 40,000. This is a great opportunity for you to save thousands and thousands of dollars once in a lifetime.
Like that. So guys, this is a constant thing. So make sure that you have an arrow in your quiver ready to go, so that when people do balk at that 5,000, 1,000, whatever your deductible problem is you know how to go to finance, go to credits, go to selling them on the law, go to the value of 5,000, 40,000. Come on, $5,000, dude. Like, don't be an idiot here. Don't be the guy that in 6 weeks or in 6 years, it's like, I need a new roof, and it's like, damn, I should just did it when I had it for 5,000. Like, you're gonna have to fork up that money at some point. So let's go take a once in a lifetime opportunity. We got God's gift. He said weather. Let's go do it. So I love that. I love that. Okay, so on to the next video, guys. Keep watching. Take notes. Rewind this so that you know how to say it with the tone that he said it, the word choice that he's using. He's done this 1,000 times, guys. Like, it's almost ingrained. Where for you, if you're new, it's going to take some practice to do it as smooth and as quick as he is. When you're in a real life scenario, these have got to be arrows ready to fire when they're coming at you, because you can't be like, crap, deductible? I don't know what to say now. They don't, like, a customer doesn't tolerate the...
As soon as blood's in the water, man, they're an animal.
They're ready for it.
Yeah.
All right, so in these videos, we're going to kind of first start with how to set up the foundation when you're signing the contingency or assignment of benefit or whatever you're signing, so that you don't have a clunky process over the next month as you try to build and collect this job. So what is your kind of steps that you make sure your customer understands to really reassure future success?
It starts at the door.
Okay.
Like whether it's we're gonna go with at the door. It's a fresh knock, right? If we're setting the expectation there that we're the professional. So you knock the door, you introduce yourself, you're confident, you get you build value by, we're working down the street, we're working in your neighborhood, that you build the value starting there. You get on the roof, you come down, and you're professional with the presentation that you've found. This is what you should have. This is what you have now, and you just keep reinforcing the professionalism all the way up through there. So now, when you lay out the paperwork, the contingency or the AOB or whatever you're using, you've already laid that down. So you're constantly prepping. You're looking 5 steps ahead. So you're constantly prepping for that moment when there's going to be that hard issue, right? Like, I'm signing something without a number on it. You've already prepped them for that. You've already desensitized them to that.
That's good.
So what what your objections are going to be. 5, 10 objections that you're going to see. So just start in the beginning, prepping them for those objections.
So good. So
they already know. They already know, oh man, he's probably going to talk about the deductible. He's already talking about it now. They start thinking about it, but then they've got it in their mind. You go right to the next thing, right into the next part of it. But this is this, and this is, we want to make sure that your roof is, covers your home, most expensive item that you're ever going to replace on your home due to an insurance claim or due to anything, right? You make sure that is known from the knock.
Yeah, I love that.
So from the very beginning, you're building that value.
Yeah, like this roof is expensive. Like if you devalue, here's what I think a lot of roofers do is they sell the value of the roof as the total deductible. Instead of selling the value of the roof, it's a $50,000 value for only $2,000.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, you want to moonshot what they're getting, and then this is what you have. This is all you're going to have to pay. And you set the precedent from the very beginning, the whole time. And throughout throughout the process of of your sale, because I don't look at it as a sale. I look at it as like I'm giving them something. I'm giving them a service. I'm taking their old crummy roof and I'm upgrading it to the best of the best materials, best warranty, up to code, everything full service for a super minor amount.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to cut any corner. I'm doing it I'm laying it out for you. You want a Cadillac? Here it is. I'm giving you the Cadillac. You just got to pay the payment on the Prius.
I like that.
Yeah.
So any other expectation setting that you would want to have, as far as collecting payment or insurance adjuster or competitors or any other things to kind of solidify that deal up front?
Yeah. So when you sit down at the table, right, and you're going over all this stuff, you go over your contingency. I would go over, if you don't have one, get one or make one or write it on your agreement, what the policy of payment's going to be, how they're going to be paying you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't run from it. Don't run from any of it, because an educated customer is a happy one.
Yeah.
If they're in the dark, so will you when it comes time to collect the check. The lights won't be able to keep on because they're going to keep that money.
Yeah.
You want them in the light because you want to keep your lights on.
Yeah.
That's the way to look at it. So keep them informed and educated. And you just have to know more than they do.
Love that.
That's it.
Anything to do with adjuster? Do you ever preface it hey, the adjusters are not on your team. They are they want the insurance company to keep their money, or they don't, or the potential could go to litigation. It could go to an appraisal. It could go, is there an element there that you prep prior?
So, what I learned over the years doing this is that people are sheep when it comes to the insurance process.
Okay.
I tell this to my team all the time, and I go, remember that. We're all pre-programmed to think insurance companies are on our side.
Mm.
right? So if I hum this, you're gonna say something, right?
Yeah, and
What is that?
nationwide, it's on your side.
Right?
Yeah.
It's programmed in your head.
Yeah, they're just all,
Right? So they trust their insurance company. They trust their agent. And we know that their agent doesn't give two hoots what they do. Or they probably will tell them not to file a claim because it looks bad on them. So, but we can't say that, because if you tell me that my best friend is talking bad about me, I'm gonna go, no, he's not. So
That's good to know.
don't forget that there's a lot of faith that they have in the system. So you have to let the system screw them, and you just have to be there to provide and be there as the saving grace when it comes time.
Yeah, you can't bash the system until they get it.
Until you can't bash it until they bash it.
Yes.
Once they bashed it, then it's game on. Yeah, let's both hit him with the bat.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's
But you
good.
can't take out their best friend
That's good.
before the best friend's already shown their true colors. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to, the same way I don't ever bash my competition. There's plenty of great roofers out there, absolutely.
Yeah.
We just feel that we're the best in this market. We're the best in this field, and I think our numbers speak for themselves. Number 1 in Florida, number 12 in the nation. Look us up. We're not going anywhere. You know, so that I let our reputation speak for itself. And if they want to bash somebody else, well, you know, this is a tough market. This is a tough business to be in. So sometimes, you know, companies do go down bad roads, and it happens. And you know, they should pick themselves up and dust themselves off, because this industry needs good contractors. You know, so you know, don't bash them, don't talk down to them, just beat them.
I love
Just
that.
be better.
Cool. Be better. That's
Yeah.
like one of my biggest mantras.
Yeah, dude.
Just be better.
Just be better. Just work harder. You know, what's the old saying? Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Yeah.
You know, that's the truth. I mean, I think we're some of the best guys in the business, you know, our team. But the one thing that we do better than everybody else is we work. We work hard, and we don't stop working, and we constantly refine our skill.
Love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so follow along in these videos. You're going to learn a lot. Promise.